good, y'all? XtremeChriz back on another video. NBA playoffs, boys. The NBA playoffs has started. Y'all all listen, ignore this. I'm just supporting Kobe. I'm a Heat fan, my niggas. But JxmyHighroller. Everyone, if you don't know who JxmyHighroller is, you really should, because this man be having facts, bro. Like, Cash Nasty has reacted to his videos, bro. And he has shut Cash up on numerous occasions, bro. This video is basically saying, I know who's going to the NBA championship in 2022. Now, homeboy told me to watch this because I was like, I don't think the Celtics are going, but the Celtics are playing good. They're playing the Brooklyn Nets right now as I speak. But this video is 12 minutes and 35 seconds. Let's see what he has to say. He's probably had a good prediction off of stats because he makes good stats. He has talked about stats I have never heard people talk about. Like, if he's the type of person, if you argue with him, he will literally shut you up, bro. ESPN should really offer this man a job, bro.
That I knew which team would win the NBA championship this season. That I somehow could see and predict the future like some sort of basketball prophet. Well, then I'd be a filthy liar. Because I don't know who's gonna win the NBA title this
Why you made the title like that then?
season. But what if we could use numbers and data collected over decades of NBA games to make an accurate prediction as to which team will be crowned?
First of all, who do y'all think is gonna win? In my opinion, anyone can win at this rate, because, bro, the Nets and the Lakers were predicted to win. I mean, go to the finals. But, bro, the Lakers are out. And then Kevin Durant and only have Kyrie and KD. They don't really have that many good role players. Mostly Kevin Durant and Kyrie. And they're struggling against the fucking Celtics right now as we speak. Jaylen Brown has the ball right now. Like, it's 72-65. They're down, but they're struggling against these kids, bro. And these are young, talented players, bro. Oh, my sweet God. Yeah, he just scored a 3. But yeah, bro, I want the Heat to win, but it's gonna be hard, bro, because y'all got all these different teams. Like, you got all these different teams, bro. You got the Suns, 76ers, the Bucks. They just won a championship. The Heat, the Nets, the Boston Celtics, bro. You have the Warriors, bro. The Warriors are literally coming back for their throne. Everyone knows the Warriors are coming back for their throne, bro. They're not playing no games, bro. They're coming back. It's crazy.
The 2022 NBA champions. Be pretty cool, right?
Poole over here going,
well, let's give it a shot.
Curry, Poole, and Clay dropped 20 points the other night. That's crazy.
Today's video is brought to you by DraftKings. The NBA playoffs are just around now. New customers, you daily sportsbook. That's code JxmyHighroller. Numbers could tell us everything, then the best data analysts in the world would be laughing to the bank right now. Unfortunately, numbers aren't this reliable. Life, similar to sports, has far too much nuance and minute variables to pack everything into quantifiable formulas and algorithms. But will that stop us sports nerds from trying? Absolutely not. And with the playoffs getting started, I thought to myself, is it possible to make a truly accurate prediction on who will win the NBA title based purely on numbers? I mean, as fans,
I don't think that's possible off numbers, cause like it depends on how you play. If your 3 best players are off in y'all championship game, they gotta depend on their role players. And if the other team's 3 best players are on, and their stats are worse than y'all 3 best players, they could possibly win because y'all 3 best players are off, but they got the best stats.
We can all make our predictions, but could there be a method to narrowing down a future NBA championship team based solely off the data? Well, over the years, NBA fans have attempted to do just this. Data scientist and NBA enthusiast Tristan Smith used machine learning to try and predict which team would win the 2020 NBA championship. To come to the most accurate conclusion, Tristan used multiple data sets spanning as far back as the 1980 NBA season.
God damn. That's grinding. He was grinding.
The main statistics used in these data sets were margin of victory, effective field goal percentage, turnover percentage, win-loss percentage, and a few other team stats.
Yeah, win-loss is like a 50-50 though. Turnovers is a big deal. Efficient field goal is pretty a big deal as well.
One of the more interesting discoveries found throughout Tristan's experiment was the strong correlation between regular season wins and playoff wins. Tristan found that if a team has less than 45 regular season wins, a single playoff win was unlikely. To win at least 5 playoff games, a team almost always needed 50 regular season wins or more, and to achieve more than 13 playoff wins, a team needed at least 55 regular season wins. But of all the statistics used in this experiment, the most indicative stat for playoff success was found to be margin of victory. And so with decades of advanced data pushed through the lens of machine learning and far too many numbers for me to wrap my head around, Tristan's final prediction for the 2020 NBA champs was wrong. His
Did you get hit with an ad?
Calculations predicted that
Ad block. Use it.
The Milwaukee Bucks would win the finals, followed by the actual champions and the Lakers. Another NBA enthusiast and data expert by the name of Tristan Yoon.
Another thing is injuries. If your best player is injured, damn, bro, y'all gotta. Hey, listen, if your best player is injured, say I'm y'all best player, and I get injured, somebody gotta step the game up, cause I'm hurt. That's another thing.
Conducted a similar experiment for the 2020 season as well. The man even went as far as collecting data on fan attendance to help come to the most accurate conclusion. And that conclusion was also wrong. Tristan's model also predicted that the Bucks would be the 2020 NBA champions, followed by the Lakers once again. So if there's anything I've learned from digging through a handful of highly advanced predictive models for future NBA championship teams, it's that they're all wrong. And outside of a lucky guess, the odds of someone actually predicting which team will win the championship at the end of the season is unlikely at best. But did that stop me from pouring days worth of my time into trying to accurately predict which team will win the championship at the end of the season? No. So now that—
Of course it didn't stop you. You know who you are? I know who this guy is. This man makes so he will. If the Celtics win this season, he is gonna make a video on it. He's gonna be, oh, I was right. He's gonna be bright.
We've taken a look at predictions from past seasons. Let's see what the data suggests for the 2022 NBA playoffs. 538, one of the more insightful data analytics websites I've come across, predicts that the Celtics have the best chances of winning this year's NBA Finals, followed by the Suns, the Bucks, the Warriors, the Heat, and the 76ers. Some surprising things to note here is that despite their success in the regular season, the Grizzlies came out with just the 7th best odds of winning the championship.
The Grizzlies, man. Listen, if you watch basketball, you always know the Grizzlies always play good in the regular season. Even before Ja was there, they always played good. But when it came to playoffs, they played terrible. It was always like that
this season. And according to 538, the Nets only have a 2% chance of finishing the season as champions. 538's model also has a current rating and a full strength rating.
Yo, the Celtics have a 31%. What did he got? Only 8? God. I ain't gonna lie, that 31% is pretty high. It's 8 compared to 31, and then Suns are 21. The Warriors are very low. They have an 8% too. The Warriors they're a threat. I see why he's talking about you can't really go off stats, bro, because
the full strength rating takes into consideration the maximum potential of each team based off of what we've seen from them this season with injuries, rotations, and many other variables. According to their full strength rating, the Nuggets jumped from 15th to 5th, and the Nets jumped from 10th to 4th. But no matter how you flip it, the Celtics remain on top.
A 2% chance? The Nets have a 2% chance of winning the NBA Finals? Oh my God. That's terrible, bro.
Top with the best odds. And all this talk about accurate or not so accurate predictive models got me thinking about quite possibly the most accurate predictors in all of sports. Vegas. The way odds makers are capable of calculating the smallest margins in sports betting has led me to believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that they have the best mathematicians in the world working for them.
They have to. I mean, y'all niggas know how many. Yo, my coworker, well, my manager, he's always gambling and betting, and my homeboy too. And he wants me to get into it. Listen, I don't want to gamble because 1, I work too hard for my money to be gambling. 2, I am broke. Once I lose that money, I'm gonna cry. And 3, gambling is bad for you. You can get addicted to that shit. You can get addicted to a lot of things. But can you imagine getting addicted to losing money? Like, excuse me. Yeah, it's cool that you win at first. Say like you gamble, like say like this NBA game right now. Say the score ends 99 to like 112. Some people have actually predicted that shit and have won like $5,000, $10,000 type of shit. I'm like, that's crazy. Like you actually predicted the score. It's like how you predicted the NBA championship. It's crazy, but I don't gamble and I don't bet. I don't bet for money, bro, because like I'm a black man, bro. Our people don't come from the riches. We work extremely hard for our money. And when I play basketball, some niggas be, oh, bet me 100, bet me 50. I'm like, bro, I don't bet in games, bro. We work too hard for our money to be losing it, bro. You're just making another black man more poor. Doesn't make any sense, so I don't bet, bro.
Screw it. Bet. They have the best theoretical physics.
The latest I'll bet is like $1. I'll bet $1 on it. It's like elementary days. Oh, I'll give you $1 if you do it. I'll bet you $1 right now.
Assists working for them. Oh, the over-under on the Lakers-Nuggets game is set at 285 points. Give me the under all day long. That's free money.
Oh, hell no! How you do that?
According to historical preseason odds, over the last 10 seasons, the preseason favorite ended up winning the championship 6 times. And 3 of the last 10 seasons, the preseason favorite ended up losing in the finals. So if history tells us anything, it's that there's an extremely good chance that whichever team was picked as the preseason favorite will either win the finals or at least make it to the finals. The preseason favorite going into this season was the Brooklyn Nets. The team with the second best odds, we won't talk about them. So now that we've gone into great detail just how hard it is to predict a future NBA championship winning team, let's try to predict a future NBA championship winning team. I'm going to be using a method similar to the ones we've touched on in this video, but with a little bit more nuance to them. So first, let's take a look at a few different advanced metrics. SRS score, or simple rating system score, margin of victory, and regular season record. The SRS score is a rating given to each NBA team based on factors like point differential, net rating, and strength of schedule. Now, of the last 25 championship teams, 24 of them had an SRS score that ranked among the top 6 in the NBA. The only championship team that wasn't ranked in the top 6 were the Dallas Mavericks in 2011. So aside from that one anomaly, being a top 6 SRS team is virtually a requirement. The top 6 teams in terms of SRS score this season are the Celtics, Suns, Jazz, Warriors, Grizzlies, and Heat. Now let's take a look at regular season record. Over the past 25 seasons, among all championship teams, what do you think is the fewest amount of regular season games won? The answer to that question came back in 2006, when the Miami Heat won just 52 games on their way to winning a title. That is the absolute bottom line for regular season games won among championship winning teams over the last 25 NBA seasons. The team with the best record in the league has won 10 of the last 25 NBA championships, and teams with a top 3 record won 20 of the last 25 championships. The bare minimum in terms of regular season record is right around 6th best in the NBA. So if we take a look at the top 6 teams in terms of regular season record, we'll find the Suns, Grizzlies, Heat, Warriors, Mavericks, Celtics, Bucks, and 76ers. And the last advanced metric we'll be using is margin of victory, which across the board was found to have a strong correlation to playoff success. Since 1997, only 2 teams finished outside of the top 6 in MOV and still won a championship. So once again, the data shows that the vast majority of championship teams were among the top 6 teams league-wide in this statistic. And this season, those top 6 teams were the Suns, Celtics, Jazz, Grizzlies, Warriors, and Heat. Now, if we take a look at our 3 metrics and the qualifying teams for each one, we'll see that the same handful of teams remain amongst the best teams in the entire league. But if we identify the teams that show up in all 3 categories, our field of potential champions is narrowed down to just
narrow down to these fucking people: the Heat, the Grizzlies, the Warriors, the Suns, and the Celtics. The Grizzlies aren't winning shit. The Heat could win. The Heat is they're a good system team. They have a good system. They have a bunch of good role players. Jimmy Butler just dropped 45 yesterday. But then you get the Warriors, where you got nothing but scorers on that team and a good defender like Draymond Green and somebody else. You got the Suns, you got Chris Paul, and you got Devin Booker there. You got the Celtics, a young, good, talented team, and they're the best defensive team in the NBA. It's another problem, bro.
5 teams: the Celtics, the Suns, the Warriors, the Grizzlies, and the Heat. To my surprise, there's no Bucks and no Nets. But if history tells us anything, it's that these 5 teams are our only true contenders in the 2022 NBA playoffs. Okay, but the average NBA fan could have probably predicted these 5 teams would be in contention for the NBA title this season. Which exact team will walk away with the championship? Well, as we all know, in order to win a championship, a team needs to perform well against the very best teams in the league. A team that is capable of rising up and playing their best basketball against the best competition is almost always the team that walks away with the championship in hand. So instead of looking at how these 5 teams performed against the entire league, let's see how they performed against the top 8 teams across the league. In games against the top 8 teams in the entire league, the Miami Heat finished the season with a point differential of -8. Altogether, the Heat were outperformed by the league's best teams. But they did do a better job than the Grizzlies, who had a point differential of -35 against the best teams in the league, a number that reflects the fact that they still have work to do if they truly want to contend for a title. The Warriors just about broke even with a point differential of +1 and were outperformed by the top team in the West, the Phoenix Suns, who finished with an impressive +53 point differential against the league's best teams. But there's one team that is virtually in a league of their own. The Boston Celtics finished the season with a point differential of +132 against the top teams in the NBA. Which means they weren't just beating really good teams, they were destroying really good teams. And that's why, according to the numbers, the Boston Celtics will be the 2022 NBA champions. They check all the boxes for a potential championship team. They have the regular season
I know what's crazy. There's a guy. I'm gonna put the listen. If the Celtics win the 2022 NBA Finals, the guy who put the tattoo of the Celtics on his shoulder, he's gonna be a walking W. This man tatted Boston Celtics NBA champions 2022 before playoffs even happened. You got some balls. Like you really went to the tattoo artist and be like, "Yo, can you put this on my shoulder for me?" He's like, "What? Boston Celtics 2022 NBA Finals." I know the artist was like, "Yo, are you sure about this?" He was like, "Yeah." And in his head, he was like, "This man's retarded. What are you doing? The playoffs haven't even started yet. You're doing? That's crazy, right?"
Resume to back it up, and all the numbers suggest they will be crowned as champions at the end of the season. Of course, the numbers can only tell us so much. It's impossible to quantify a lot of things that happen on a basketball court, like the fact that the Celtics will have to overcome the mental obstacle of their 4-1 first-round exit to the Nets last season. The team they have to face in the first round this season is, once again, the Nets. The numbers also don't consider the fact that Kyrie Irving missed a large majority of games this season, skewing the Nets' overall regular season numbers to not accurately reflect what they'll look like in the playoffs. I personally think that the Bucks have a good shot at repeating this season, but their championship pedigree is something that just doesn't show up in the numbers. It's almost impossible to put a value on the impact of things like injuries, postseason experience, series adjustments, and about a million other variables. And I may just be dead wrong in this entire assessment, but we'll just have to wait and see.
I mean, my nigga, you're barely wrong.
And until then, hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time.
Who y'all think gonna win the NBA Finals? If this video gets any views or likes, whatever, who you think gonna win? I want the Heat to win, but if the Heat don't win, I think it's gonna be either the Celtics, no, it's gonna be the Bucks or the Warriors, like to actually win the Finals, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. This year's NBA Finals, anybody could win. If you play good, you can win. But it's like anyone can win. The only people I'm looking at right now are the Warriors. They're a huge threat. The Heat, if they play good defense, the Bucks could win as well. But you never know who's gonna win. But hey, man, I like watching his videos. His videos always like, it's like an educational visual, an educational video to me when it comes to basketball, because he educates you a lot on the stats and numbers that I'd never even heard of, which is actually really good. But like, yeah, man. But what the fuck? Oh shit. But like, yeah, man. Until next time, yo.